Hi everyone, welcome to the Armageddon Championship Series 2023. The show with more entertainment than a naked yodelehoa on top of a Swiss mountain. I'm Grandmaster Simon Williams, and I'm here with the brilliant International Master Ivan Koska.
Oh, it's great to be here, Simon. But it's our final day of the Europe and Africa qualifier. And wow, it's been a lot of excitement so far. And talking about excitement, yesterday was day 6 and we saw a lot of thrilling matchups. First up, Maxime Vachier-Lagrave, he managed to progress to the next stage, and Richard Rapport managed to punch his way into the final and also nab that spot in the grand finale happening in September. Let's have a look at yesterday's recap. Day 6 kicked off with a magnificent battle in the lower bracket between Maxime Vachier-Lagrave and Jordan van Foreest. In the first game, Maxime surprised Jordan in the opening and then proceeded to play a technically perfect game to take the first point. Undeterred, Jordan struck back with some fiery chess to completely outplay Maxime and level the match. This meant everything was decided by Armageddon. And there, Maxime was able to play smoothly and accurately to easily secure the point and win the match.
The second match of the day saw Jan-Christophe Duda play against Richard Rapport. Both of these players have won all of their matches so far, so a win would get them a place in the grand final in September. In the first game, Richard won a brilliant game with the black pieces. In the second game, he also played tremendously well, guaranteeing him that place in the finals.
This is Armageddon Championship Series 2023, the ultimate chess showdown of the year. The first 3 tournaments have already finished. The Americas with finalists Wesley So and Sam Shankland. Asia and Oceania with winners Nordibek Abdusattorov and Gukesh. And a special qualifying stage, Women's Week, where Bibisara Asalbaeva and Humpy Kaneru showed their best. And this week, our 4th tournament, Europe and Africa Regional Series.
8 of the strongest players compete for a spot in the grand final in September, with a chance to win the Armageddon Championship. All our events are broadcast live from the World Chess Club Berlin on Unter den Linden. Who shall fill in the 2 final spots in the grand final in September? Don't blink or you'll miss it. Find out here. This is Armageddon. That's right, it is the last day of the competition and it's going to be very exciting. I hope you're on the edge of your seats at home. I hope you've got the popcorn ready. And let's now just have a look at the players in this competition. And we have a lot of players grayed out there. Yeah, these were the original 8, and as you can see, 5 of them have left the competition, but 3 men remain: Jan-Christophe Duda, Maxime Vachier-Lagrave and Richard Rapport. That's right, and now we can have a look at the money situation. Every line they cross, they get more cash, and they're now fighting for the 2nd and 1st place. And very importantly, 2 players go through to the grand final out of the 3 players we have left. Yeah, time to mention our partner, IT.com Domains, which is the official partner of the Armageddon Championship Series. It's a domain registry like no other. It provides a platform for anyone to create innovative domains and effectively showcase their online presence. Don't miss this opportunity. Visit IT.com today and create your unique online image. Yeah, and we should also just take a look at the bracket for our last day and the last time. And you can see that so far the hero, the champion, has been Richard Rapport. He is guaranteed a place in the grand final, but the first match of the day is the one highlighted there, and we're going to see who joins Richard in the final. It's so exciting. It certainly is. 3 men remaining. Final day of the tournament. Now, these 3 gentlemen are still in the competition. And, well, let's have a look at their journeys to the final. Today is the final day of the tournament, and 3 players are still in the hunt for tournament victory.
Let's see how they got this far. Fan favourite Rapport, representing Romania, had won all his matches in a rather convincing fashion. His first match victory came against Dutch number 2, Jordan van Foreest. There he suffered his only loss of the event, but he struck back twice to win 2-1. Richard then did away with blitz legend Maxime Vachier-Lagrave in a fashion that you very rarely see. Finally, Richard posted yet another fantastic performance against Poland's Jan-Krzysztof Duda. This clean sheet has netted Rapport a spot in the Europe and Africa leg finals, but also provided him with a ticket to the grand finale in September.
Jan-Krzysztof Duda had an almost equally smooth ride. The young Pole kicked off by beating British legend Mickey Adams by a narrow margin. It felt like a warm-up to him, and he then took down the local hero and German number 1 Vincent Keimer 2-0. He was, however, yet to meet Rapport. After losing his first white game, Richard didn't give him a chance to breathe and forced a draw in the second game from a position of strength. Jan-Krzysztof will play at least one super high-stakes match today. Last but not least is Maxime Vachier-Lagrave from France. In the first round, he had the better of Germany's Matthias Blubaum, beating him 2-0. Maxime, in turn, was then cleanly taken down by Rapport, 1.5-0, and soon found himself in the lower bracket. It took him beating Alexander Donchenko and Jordan van Foreest, both in Armageddon, to make it to the final day. Maxime's innate blitz ability, together with nerves of steel, will make him a dreaded opponent. Who will claim the title?
Indeed, who will claim the title? And we do have to look at our first matchup. And it is between Maxime Vachier-Lagrave and Jan-Krzysztof Duda.
That's right, two big hitters of the game, and we should do more of a deep dive just to check out some of the achievements that these players have done in their lives. And first of all, Maxime.
Yeah, and take a look at those very impressive stats. Became a grandmaster at 14 years old. His blitz rating is incredible, 27.39, puts him in the top 20 of the world, and also the winner of the 2021 World Blitz Championship. Now, who did he beat in this particular Blitz Championship to get him the title? Was Jan-Krzysztof Duda in the tie breaks. Anyway, let's move on to Jan-Krzysztof Duda.
Yes, and Jan-Krzysztof Duda is another legend of the game. It's going to be such an exciting match. Just look at some of those achievements that this young player from Poland has already achieved. He is the strongest player in Poland, and he is a winner of the European Blitz Championships in 2021. Just an all-round phenomenal player like Maxime.
Yeah. Anything can happen because this match is going to be epic, and we are less than 1 minute from the start of play. Let's remind ourselves for the last time of the rules. The players will be playing 2 games of blitz at 3 minutes plus 2 seconds, and if the match is still tied after these 2 games, then it will all be decided by
Armageddon. And that is the name of the show, and I expect we might get 1 or 2 today. In Armageddon, that means white gets 5 minutes, black gets 4 minutes. White has to win any other result, and black goes through, and there's no time added on. Another very important person, member of the team, is our arbiter, Anastasia, who's going to make sure everything is above board and the rules are looked after. Not that these players would ever break the rules. 8 seconds until kickoff. I hope you're as excited as we are in the studio. This is the last day. Which of these gladiators is going to face Rapport in the final? We'll shortly find out.
Yes, and there we see Maxime with the white pieces, and Jan-Krzysztof Duda responding with an opening known as the Petrov. And of course, Maxime handles it in the most aggressive way, which is simply to challenge the knight, double his pawns, but don't be fooled because that king is moving to the left.
Yeah, and these positions can get very exciting. It actually featured a lot in the World Championship, Classical World Championship, this particular position between Magnus Carlsen and Fabiano Caruana. Caruana used this particular defense as his main defense there. And it is a better pawn structure for black because white has double pawns, but white has already castled, and white's pieces have a little bit more freedom. If you look at the bishop in front of black's king, that's not a great bishop, and white can often get an initiative, and that's what Maxime loves doing. He loves getting an attack. He loves getting some tactical chances. Both of their heart rates seem pretty low at the moment, Ivanka. They're pretty calm on this last day.
They are very calm, especially when you bear in mind both these players are actually on their last chess lives, and whoever loses this will be eliminated from the competition. And Jan-Krzysztof Duda, he knows that Maxime is an aggressive, dynamic player, excellent at calculation, so that's why he's trying to shut down the game.
Yeah, he's taken a safety-first approach with the black pieces. I mean, also, let's not forget that Duda is a very, very talented tactical player, attacking player. They're both kind of similar in styles, very exciting players. Now, white can grab that bishop with his knight. It's considered that the bishop is slightly better than a knight at this level, but that would also help black's pawn structure because black can move the pawn into the middle. So instead, white just centralizes his rook. You want to put your rooks on the open lines, and that rook is on an open line there looking up the board, so that could be very useful later on. And I wonder what Jan will do. Will he kick that knight away, do we think?
Yeah, I think so. Or another idea is actually just to kind of copy and move the king to safety, move it one square to the left, or also put a rook on the open line. But personally, I kind of like the idea of kicking back that knight. But Jan-Krzysztof Duda said, hey, you know, taking my bishop was a one-time offer. You're not going to get it again.
Yeah, and he's decided to keep that bishop. Now, it looks fairly even, this start of the game, the opening stage. We're getting into the middle part of the game now. The middle game, obviously chess is in 3 parts, but you might not get that far. I often don't get that far, unfortunately, or sometimes fortunately. But what will be played? Okay, an aggressive push there.
Oh, exactly. I mean, this is really in Maxime's style. You know, he wants to go forward, but you do have to remember that every time you step a pawn forward, there are some weak squares that you do need to cover. And okay, Maxime, he's going full on, and he's threatening to trap the bishop by stepping that pawn forward one more square. How is Jan-Krzysztof going to handle that? Well, he attacks the knight.
Yeah, he's got to kick that knight away and give his bishop an escape square. So Maxime is getting a little bit of a space advantage on the right-hand side, but maybe now black can move that pawn again.
Exactly.
That could be a strange square for the knight to go, but I'm not sure where else that knight could have gone. Maybe just back into the center. I wonder now if black moves the pawn. Okay, he's gone for another approach, which doesn't look quite as promising. Quite a committal move, that one, because as Jovanka said, you can't move your pawns backwards, so they're very committal. You can't be like, oh, I don't, you know, you can't really regret pawn moves because they have to stay going forwards. And white now, okay, deciding to keep the position closed, and I wonder what will happen if black now takes that pawn, opening up his rook. It could actually then get quite tactical.
Yeah, undoubtedly so, because lines are going to get opened, and well, he can of course capture that pawn, but that will come at a cost. The cost is that white will manage to establish a very good knight sitting on the g5 square, where it just can't be challenged. And well, he goes for it, and then the big question for Duda: can he get greedy and capture the pawn on h2? He's going for it.
He has. He's gone a pawn up now, but white is getting some nice space. And this is what I like about these quality players. They don't mind taking risks. They don't mind testing their opponents by playing the most critical moves. There's a lesson to be learned at home there. Always try to play the most critical continuations if you can get away with them.
And talking about critical continuations, Jan-Krzysztof decides to kick that queen away. Oh, and is he basically offering Maxime a draw? Because Maxime can actually retreat, well, move forward with the queen to the d5 square, and he's going for it. And Duda now offering a draw. He's saying, let's repeat the position until perpetuity.
And let's remember, if you repeat the position 3 times, it is claimed to be a draw. But Maxime playing for the win. Brave play from the Frenchman, what you expect from this great player. Have a look at the clock, though. They're clearly nervous, even though their heart rates are not necessarily showing that, because they're moving much slower than they should be. Duda! Don't Duda bide it. You got to move.
He does have to move. It's like less than 25 seconds, Simon. And now it's ticking down to under 20 seconds. Oh.
I'm not sure I like his clock handling here, because under 20 seconds you do get added time every move, but only a little bit. It's not much. And now can White, he's looking at the black king there. Is Maxime, can he put more pressure on it? He's just given his king an escape square in case there's any problems with the back rank. There might have been something missed. Duda bringing his knight around to defend. Let's remember, black is a pawn up, but White's pieces look better. White threatening checkmate there. And of course, Duda doesn't fall for that cheap trick. Not sure it's that cheap, but it was a trick. The queen enters into the position, and Duda's doing the right thing. He is quickening his pace up here, trying to exchange some pieces off. The more pieces that black can exchange off, the more powerful his extra pawn will become.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, the more exchanges, the more the position simplifies and the easier it is for Duda to play. And he has to play those easy moves. Oh, Simon checkmate is being threatened. Queen takes pawn, and that's why Maxime actually managed to get greedy and capture that pawn and defend the c2 pawn at the same time.
They're both getting very short of time, and it is now Duda who has a bit of an initiative here. He's not a pawn up anymore, but the black queen is floating dangerously around the white king, but the rook has to come back to do a bit of defensive duties. It seems very even at the moment, but anything can happen in these last seconds of the game. Duda is 5 seconds left. White now goes a pawn up. This is looking a lot better all of a sudden for Maxime. That is a big extra pawn that Maxime has on the right-hand side of the board. Black's trying to get some tricks with the queen and knight. I love this move, trying to get the queens off.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic play by Maxime, because when your king is under some pressure, trade off queens. And now the players with seconds left on the clock. And look at Maxime. He knows his technical stuff. He puts his rook behind the pawn. He pushes that advanced pawn. And now it's all about whether Duda can hold a blockade.
Yeah, White is clearly just one pawn up, and what White's got to do is try to queen that pawn, try to get that pawn to the other end of the board. But Black is very active with his knight and rook here, and the White king is a little bit exposed there. Can White get his pawn marching? I don't think it's going to be easy, because look at that. Duda's doing all the right things, playing very actively in defense. They're both under 10 seconds.
And Maxime there with his tricks. But Duda says no. Instead, he mobilizes his knight, and suddenly it feels like the pawn is going to drop. And it's not just that, but everything is going to get traded off. And there you see the bar. It is completely in the middle, and the players do agree a draw.
Oof. A nice little warm-up game for us there. And it sort of looked like Maxime was pushing a bit more, understandably, because Duda was very short of time, and he got that extra pawn, but he didn't manage to convert it into a win. I think Maxime would be a little bit disappointed, because that was a good opportunity. When you're a pawn up in the ending, you really do and should convert it into a win at this level.
Yeah, and it's also when you bear in mind that he had time advantage, and here was a nice decision that Maxime took, where he sacrificed the pawn in order to mobilize his pieces. And there we see Duda just grabbing material there with the rook. I thought it was a really tense game. I mean, it's a blitz game. They're usually scrappy. No one plays perfect chess. And here we see another moment where Jan-Krzysztof Duda virtually offers Maxime a repetition. He said, let's do this little knight-queen combo. You go backwards, I will attack your knight. And Maxime actually says no draw for him.
Yeah, so Maxime was pushing definitely a little, for the win in that game, which he probably should do with the white pieces. And now Duda's chances have improved a bit, I would say, because he's got white in the next game. If either player wins the next game, they are through to the final. That's so scary, isn't it? You could be going out of the competition if you make one little mistake. And this is where chess is quite unique, I feel, that, the pressure is so high, and you don't have the opportunity to make a mistake. And around here, I must admit, I thought that Maxime was just going to win this game. I thought that his extra pawn would get to the other end of the board, become a queen, and that would be it. But Duda defended brilliantly.
He certainly did, and here was the moment that Duda won back that pawn, and after the trade of rooks, the players just look at each other and they know it is a draw. And now we're less than a minute from the start of the second game. Jan-Christoph Duda will have the white pieces, and Maxime Vachier-Lagrave, of course, playing with the black pieces. This is going to be so tense. Jan-Christoph is known to be one of the most fighting chess players around. He's going to go for the win.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really exciting game, this one, because I doubt either player wants to get to Armageddon, because it just gets scarier and scarier. You want to finish the game now, either way, and 25 seconds until the second game. And if one player wins, it's a massive result, because they get to the final in September. They get a nice chunk of money, and they get to play the final also of this competition, the European and African leg. So it's a massive game. Their heart rates have got to be, I say that, and Maxime's had one of the lowest heart rates, hasn't he, out of everyone in this tournament so far. What's it going to be? It's going to be, okay, we see, very interesting opening here, and actually Duda playing very calm approach. I didn't expect this from Duda. A very positional approach from White here. There was many more aggressive ways that White could have played the opening. And
White's idea is actually just to expand as much as possible there on the left side of the board. And there we see Duda actually making a trade of pawns, but he's going to continue with his plan. He's going to push that c-pawn, he's going to put his rook on the open line, and claim that White is better.
Yeah.
I know, because I play this with White myself.
You do? Oh, right, okay. So, is it called the speckled egg?
No.
Well, it's not. Okay. I know there's some... Basically, if you talk about the opening, which we're in now, there's something like 1,700 different openings, different ways you can set up your pieces at the start. Obviously, chess is an ancient game. A lot of them have been worked out now, and they've got some crazy names. And the speckled hen is a name of one such opening, but I don't know the name of this one.
I don't think it has a name, Simon.
It doesn't. It must have a name. Let's give it a name.
Something very boring.
The Duda abides opening.
No, he's not. He can't steal the opening for himself. Anyhow, okay. Well, we see a trade of knights in the center, but it is an interesting decision from Maxime. Maxime doesn't care about his pawn structure. Instead, he's saying, you know what? Let me activate my pieces in compensation. And I don't know, as someone who prefers strategical chess, I'm not that keen on his decision.
Yeah, because Black has got this pawn in the middle of the board, which is isolated. And if you can remember yesterday's games, this is actually how Maxime won. He played against Jordan's isolated pawn. But one thing I've noticed about Maxime, he's a player of the new generation of chess players. And the new generation plays in the way that computers play. Computers have, in the last 20 years or so, become stronger than humans. They often give ugly positions to activate their pieces, and that's what Black is trying to do here. His pawns don't look good, but his pieces are becoming active, and Maxime loves having active pieces when he plays, and this is something still it seems very close, this position so far.
I agree with that, and I really like the Duda's last move, because that rook sitting on e5 was very active. And well, Duda is now following the classical rules, was when you are facing and playing against these weak isolated pawns in the middle, you blockade them, and then you start ganging up on them, and eventually you start munching.
Yeah, and it seems fairly even at the moment. It's very hard to pick a favourite between these two players. They are just such a high level. Both players have all their pieces developed. And also, let's remember that white has a weak pawn as well. Black's queen is pointing down towards that weak pawn. The black light square bishop is diagonally pointing towards that pawn by white's queen, the c2 pawn, if you want to look at the coordinates there. So it's not just black who has weak pawns. They both have some problems in this position. So it's a very tense situation so far.
And, well, Maxime making some moves in the center, offering a trade of knights, and Duda says, absolutely, I will trade that off. Very interesting decision there from Maxime, because now the dark squared bishops can also get swapped off, and this does allow white the opportunity of centralizing the queen and utilizing this pressure along the B line. But Duda instead says, you know what, if you do want a bishop trade, well, then you're going to have to correct my pawn structure.
Yeah.
Wise decision there.
That's right. So the black bishop takes white's bishop. White can take with a pawn that he's just moved, and that will correct that weak pawn. Duda now using both his bishops. He's annoying that rook by attacking it on the diagonal there. And it does seem to me that white has a nice stable advantage here. I know the valuation bar, the bar on the right hand side, thinks it's pretty even, but it's actually a lot harder for black to play this. Black can go wrong very easily. So Maxime he's on the edge here, you know, because one mistake and he's going to get knocked out of the competition. He's got to play very accurately, use that reserves he's got to stay in this competition.
An interesting move there from Maxime, because he voluntarily traps in his own bishop. White is actually threatening to lift the f-pawn one square forward.
Can black do it though? Maybe black's
and the black is going to have to do it. Okay, so but first of all we see a set of dark square bishops leave the board, and here it comes. That bishop has been given some breathing space. But one thing that really does worry me is Maxime's clock time. We've seen him twice lose on time in this competition.
Yeah, and he's got to play a little bit quicker, but I like what he's done here. He's going for the white king, play aggressive, and this is what Maxime does. When he gets in a bit of trouble, he really ups his game. He goes full steam ahead, and Duda's heart rate went a little bit in the red there. I think that showed a little bit of fear. I actually quite like black now. I think there's a bit of danger for that king, and look, the black rook is also lining up a bit nearer to white's king, but it's that little... oh, this is a very dangerous move, surely. But black has to do something with his bishop here. Or can he sack the piece? No.
No, he's not going to sack the piece. You don't really want to be doing that when you only have 45 seconds left. And instead, Duda starts simplifying the position. But this does allow black a lot of activity. And that's why Duda offers a trade of queens. And we're going to go into a double rook ending. Oh, are we going to see an Armageddon? Because this one is looking very equalish.
I think there's a lot of play left, though, especially with Maxime's clock time, as you pointed out. He's only got 35 seconds, and white's rook seem a little bit more active there. There you go. The white rook is getting ready to invade into the position. White's actually threatening to win a pawn here, so black has to play passively. I hate putting my rooks on passive squares when I'm in an ending. Look at that last move that black played. The rook goes behind the pawn. I don't like that. And now white can take over the file. Has he done it? Yes, he's taken over the open line. So it's a little bit better for white here. Still, Maxime has to be a bit scared, and you can see the evaluation bar now catching up, I think. The black king trying to come round to defend. Clock times also in Duda's favour here.
Yeah. And there you can also see the heart rates flashing. Maxime still very calm at 101 and Jan-Christophe 114. But there really is only one side that is going to be trying to make some inroads, and that's Duda. And he's considering whether now is the time to mobilize and improve the rook on c2. Can he give a check to the black king and attack some pawns? No, he decides to step this very well-placed rook on b5 back.
Yeah, he's rerouting the rook here. They're both now under 30 seconds. I'm fearful for Maxime. As you said, he's lost on time twice, and he's only got 15 seconds left. This is a big danger for Maxime, losing on time. If his time gets to 0, it's goodbye, Maxime. So can he play a bit quicker? I don't know. I'd be very scared if I was black here. Is black losing a pawn now as well?
8-7. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, he is going to be losing a pawn, but he's saying, you know what? I can get compensation by mobilizing, activating the rook, putting it on e2. And decision time for Duda. Does he get greedy? And no, he wants to keep control.
You've got to move, Maxime. You've got 5 seconds. They're both under 10 seconds now. It looks like White has all the pressure. Maxime is teetering on the edge of going home here. Duda wins a pawn. What can Maxime do? He activates his rook, but White is a pawn up in this ending. There's very good chances to convert this. Maxime, though, is a brilliant endgame player. He's very resilient, and the more pawns that get exchanged, the better for Black. And this seems to help Black a lot here. Black is now winning his pawn up. It must be heading towards a draw, but the White King diving in, still dangerous for Maxime here. White has actually White's got a great position here.
Yeah, I mean, White is actually going to pick up the g6 pawn. It's off the board, and Maxime's hopes for a draw is all dependent on his advanced pawn there on e3, and that's why he's chasing it till the end of the world. But oh, it's a race.
Yeah, and White's pawns are just too strong. White can even give his rook up for that pawn. It's looking great for Duda. 2 pawns versus 1. What's better than 1 pawn? 2 pawns. And the White King is going to advance and queen that pawn. They're both trying to queen their pawns here, but it was a win for Duda. Duda goes through to the final. Really heartbreaking news there for Maxime Vachier-Lagrave, who got knocked out, but a great game from Duda. He did seem to be in control for most of it, and he kept his cool that little bit better there and handled his clock better.
Yeah.
So.
I had, what can I say? Splendid game from Duda. He knew how to handle Maxime's activity, and I like the way that he maneuvered the game into a very technical stage, and he didn't seem phased at all, and he just kept on improving his position. And I don't know, I have to say it's very sad to see Maxime leave the competition, yes. But fair is fair, I have to say.
Yeah, I mean, Duda was the better player today. It was a very close match. You could see there was hardly anything between them in this competition. I mean, around about here, it's fairly even, but Duda now played a series of moves, and if you can remember, he got the queens off, and when the queens came off and he got to that ending, it was just really tough, and he converted it into a really nice win in the end. And here you can see the end part of the game. I thought, Max, this was a great move, getting the queens off the board, because now the White King is always going to be a lot safer, and Black's pawns are just weaker here on the left-hand side, the queen side, and those weak pawns, White attacked them with his rooks and eventually rounded up 1 pawn, and well, played a great ending as well. So.
Yeah, and here you see the consequence of all this. You know, we see Duda actually win material, and okay, Maxime does all the right things. He activates his rook in order to make it a nuisance, but Duda played perfect chess.
Yeah, I thought that Maxime was going to draw that at the end, but we come right to the end part of the game, and it looks like both sides are going to queen. But what happens then? Well, White's going to have that extra pawn, and that extra pawn will also become a queen, and this was the killer move. Maxime has to resign there. There was nothing else he could do. So, well, we're going to hear more from our warrior, Maxime, with Sonia now.
I'm here with Maxime. Unfortunately, you lost. How do you feel?
Yeah, it was a tough match. I feel like I was dominating in the first game. Jan was dominating the second. So, anything could happen. In the end, he won. It was deserved. So, good luck to him in the finals.
Can you tell us something about the key moments in the games?
Yeah, in the first game, it all went down to the last few moves. I was pawn up, and I felt I should exchange queens, but maybe the way I did it, a lot too much counterplay, and then I couldn't really push my f-pawn, and I had to settle for a draw, which was a bit disappointing, of course. Then second game, I felt I was more or less in control throughout, but it kept being a bit unpleasant, and in the last seconds, Jan found some good moves, and I couldn't find the solution. So yeah, it was very, very close.
The tournament is over. What's next for you?
I'm going to Dubai now playing the Global Chess League, so which is going to be quite an event because a lot of great players are playing, and then I'll have some rests, and I'll be playing in the World Cup in Baku at the end of July, which of course will be like qualifier for candidates, so extremely important event.
Okay, then best of luck, and we are going to watch the highlights now.
That's what it often comes down to.
And time to mention our partners, FIDE Online Arena, which hosts rated tournaments and games 24 hours per day. Join the arena and you'll get a FIDE ID, a profile on FIDE.com, access to pro chess community, official online ratings and titles, all recognized by the International Chess Federation, prize money tournaments, and so much more. So play official games at chessarena.com.
And now we have the final. Is this what we're all waiting for? It must be. This is the last match of this Armageddon Europe and Africa series. And we have Rapport, who has been dominant throughout the competition so far, play against Jan-Christoph Duda. And, well, earlier on, Ricard did win against Duda in their mini-match, and he's in a better position because he can lose one match, but it's going to be so exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. Rapport still on 2 lives, and there we see some of his stats. Became a grandmaster at 13 years old, making him the youngest Hungarian player to ever achieve the grandmaster title. His blitz rating of 27.07 makes him a super grandmaster in my eyes. Also winner of the 2013 European Rapid. And fun fact, he was also second to the current world champion Ding Liren in his world championship encounter.
Yeah, and we've already seen a bit of Duda so far. I mean, this guy is just so cool and so strong. And just to show you how well received chess is in Poland, he was actually given the Gold Cross of Merit, and this is one of the highest awards that any civilian can get. So an amazing achievement at only 25 years old. So it's going to be exciting. It's going to be a lot of fun, isn't it?
I know. I mean, this match is incredible. And earlier on, we asked the players, who did they predict would win the competition? And what are we guessing, Simon? Did anyone predict that Rapport would be up there in the final?
I would have gone Rapport.
Oh.
Okay, we see
got
Duda,
Maxime Vachier-Lagrave,
yeah,
Jordan, MVL. Duda, okay.
I think they're just picking the shortest names that they can write down.
And there we can see it was universal. Everyone thought MVL and Duda would be the one.
Interesting thing there
winning.
As well. No one picked Rapport. No one said that he was going to win this competition. So he's there in the best position. And wow, you can't leave Ricard out of this, can you? So you've got to keep Ricard in. And they're only 40 seconds away now, and we have the big match between Ricard Rapport. I call him Richard. I call him Richie. That's his nickname, Richie, as well. I don't know, but Ricard is the correct pronunciation. He's playing against Duda in this big final. 25 seconds to go. It's going to be awesome. Who's your money on? And let's remember, if Jan-Christoph Duda does win, then they have to play the second part, because Ricard is on 2 lives and Jan-Christoph's only on 1 life, because Ricard won the first match between these 2 players.
Exactly, and they played just yesterday. And remember, Ricard was very dominant, especially with the black pieces. And they are off, and there we have the first move. Ricard developing the knight and choosing an opening called the Reti.
Yeah, this is a good choice, because with the Reti, you connect with your opponent a little bit later on. And against a tactical player like Duda, you maybe don't want to go too sharp too soon, even though, of course, Ricard is a very tactical player himself. This setup is quite interesting. The one danger that white has is that he's given away a space advantage. Look at black's pawn in the middle of the board. The black pawns can be quite dangerous. On the other hand, white's already got his king safe, so it's kind of a trade-off between having the safer king, white's castled, black is in the middle, or having the center. So they are fighting it out. And look at that. That's what we call a pawn chain. 4 pawns guarding each other there. And I think what white needs to do is go aggressive early here. Try to get a pawn break. Maybe use the pawn in front of the rook, or maybe use the pawn on the left-hand side. You want to open it up towards black's king. And I like this move. He's going for that pawn break I mentioned. The pawn in front of the rook can come 2 squares up and try to open things up. Because if your opponent's king is weaker than yours, open the position. Get your pieces open towards your opponent's king. So I kind of... Is he going to go for it? Is he going to move that pawn now?
Oh, it takes a lot of guts to open the position like that. But you're right, Simon. If you're going to play this system with the white pieces, you need to accelerate the play as quickly as you can. And there we see Richard just develop a piece. And what I'm expecting him to do is a combination of both those plans that you mentioned. I think he is going to open up with the F line, as you indicated, but also keep in reserve this idea of expanding as much as possible on the left side of the board.
I mean, the valuation bar is massively in Richard's favour. I don't understand why it's so high. Maybe he can move his bishop now. He does, to stop black from castling. And I think it's the black king which is the problem for Duda. But I'm actually surprised the valuation bar is saying it's such a big advantage for white here. Can he move his bishop in now?
He certainly can, and the question is, should he? Because if the bishop comes in to attack the rook, Duda is and it's going to come in, and well, Duda is counting on bishop takes knight.
Yeah, and again, the valuation bar doesn't like this. It says it's even, but Duda, look at his face. He's blowing some smoke out of himself there. He's like, oh, I don't like this move. I didn't see this move. Ricard's heart rate is higher. He's got to give up that knight. But the exchange of positions there, look at white's bishop in the middle of the board. This is such a fantastic piece. And black has put his king in a very dangerous situation, because at some point, white's pawns on the left-hand side, they can roll in, and they can, and there they go. They're starting to roll up the board, and I just think the black king in the long term is so exposed. That's my first song of the day as well.
Yeah, completely agree with you there, Simon. I mean, to be fair, those pawns do deserve a song, because because they're not just pawns advancing. There's going to be a white queen that's going to find itself on A4, and black's king, as you pointed out, shaking in his boots.
Was that an attempt at a song there? A bit shaking?
Shaking, yeah, that was. But then I couldn't think of a song that started with shaking, so apart from Shaking Stevens.
Yeah.
And, oh, wow.
Oh, this looks so scary for black now. I mean, because black's pawns are going to take a long time to get to white's king. And I think all Ricard needs to do is keep pushing those pawns. Attack the knight with a pawn. He can also bring his queen in.
Bring the queen in. That's what I would do. Bring the queen in and then push that pawn. And Richard, well, he's getting excited. His heart rate is flashing red, 121. And okay, so he takes a different approach, which is to actually just a pawn roller. Just bulldoze open the black king position.
I mean, I also like this approach from white. I mean, it's so easy for white to play. He brings his queen nearer to the black king. And the problem is for black, those white pawns, they're just going to go bomb, 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 open up the black king, and the black king just looks too exposed. He gets his rook behind one of those pawns. Duda is desperately trying to open up white's king. It's a race. Those pawns on both sides of the board are just trying to pry open the safety net that the king is doing. But white is just quicker in this position. White's pawns, it's a race, and white's well ahead in the race.
I mean, just take a look at this. I mean, it almost feels like quick maths. You know, you have the queen, the rook, the light square bishop, and 2 pawns there are going to be primed to attack the black king. And then take a look at white's king. One pawn that is worth 1 point is coming towards the white king. I think I know whose king is in danger, and it's not white.
Yeah, on the next move, white will move his pawn to attack black's queen, and just to add a bit of insult to injury, Duda is going down on the clock. Look at his time. He's got 24 seconds. Ricard just can push the pawn now. He's got other good moves as well. His bishop can come in, but this is a very nasty move, and now that pawn is a little champion. It can keep on munching. You can even move your bishop in. I think just sneaking your bishop into the middle might win material here.
Oh no, this was the move that I thought you were thinking about.
Nice.
So that the queen can come in with a kapow. I'm thinking of Batman there. And
I like
17 seconds and ticking down. And Duda's position is dire. Oh.
It is, and maybe just pawn takes pawn here, finishes the game off. Is he going to do that? Does he have something better? He's going check, and now that was a killer. Oh, a beautiful move there, forcing checkmate. Let's just have a look at this position. If the black rook takes the pawn, the white queen takes the other rook. If the black king moves, the white bishop comes in with a check, opens it up. Ricard, what a great game that was from him.
The man is on fire. I mean, he's worked everything out perfectly. We've seen that actually time and time again. Yeah, Ricard lost his first game in this tournament against Jordan, but after that he just like worked out all his opponents and just guessed at their psychology. Because here, you know, he played a very provocative opening and enticed Duda to take control of the center, and then he just blasted it open and then completely dominated the game.
Yeah,
Hats off.
His chest is on fire. Oh dear, it's the last day. Give me a little bit of latitude here, please. And you can see here that the black king was just in too much trouble. The black king was not castled, and it was that trade-off where Ricard got his king castled quickly, but the black king was kind of a sitting duck there, and it had to go to the other side where it was also just too weak in the position. And this was a great move because it forces black to give up the bishop. If black doesn't capture the knight, white would have won a pawn there, and you can see that disappointment on Duda's face. He just seems to be he seems like Ricard out-psychs him, you know. I mean, it happened in the other match when they played, and Ricard has this like difficult approach for Duda, you know, getting very nice positions, playing brilliant chess as well.
Yeah, and you know, Ricard did say to us in one of the interviews, and this is a great moment, you know, just giving up the bishop in order to get the queen into the board. And now here we're going to see a beautiful shot. And you know, he did tell us in the interview that basically the person who would win would be the person who had worked hardest on their chess. And of course he spent the year like working as hard as possible, seconding the world champion Ding Loren. And here is the moment where Ricard finds the killer blow, just pushes that c-pawn one square forward to deliver check to the king. Here we can see it in its beautiful slow motion.
What? I love the way he moved that piece, you know, the pawn. You could tell he was like, yeah, that's gonna do the damage. Thank you for the game. It's just elegant. Yeah, you should have given a little wink. Yeah. Well, not like that. That's a really weird wink. Rather creepy.
Well.
But he should have gone, yeah. I mean, there's many ways you can move the pieces, but it does give away your emotions, how you move the pieces sometimes. And you can see that Ricard had worked out he's winning that one. But there is still a chance for Jan Christoph Duda. He's back in with a shout, and he's got the white pieces. He must win this game to take it to Armageddon. He's got to get over this psychological block he's got against Ricard. I think he might do it. I mean, he played so well in that first match. He's got the first game out of the way, and he's an awesome player with the white pieces, but I don't know, I also can't see many people beating Ricard at the moment. He's on top form. Heart rate quite high. My heart rate would be high if I was one game away from being the champ.
And there we see Duda opening with the queen's pawn, and Ricard, he's worked out a winning system. So why change it, you know? But, of course, Duda must have come prepared. He must have something up his sleeve.
Yeah, and this is the Philidor opening. We saw Ricard use this in all of his matches so far, and it's done he's done a great job for him so far, but it's such a dangerous opening for black to play. It's considered that white has a nice advantage in this opening, but that doesn't bother Ricard. Ricard has his own ideas, and this is one of the things that makes Ricard such a crowd and fan favourite, that he doesn't go with normal convention. He does his own ideas, and he convinces the world that he's an individual thinker and an artiste. And that's what I like about him.
And he's doing the same thing again, you know. Yeah. He's literally put all his pieces on the back row, and then he reroutes the knight to this square, and then he simply waits. He just waits for the side to come at him and responds appropriately. And it almost feels like we are in deja vu territory.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, this is his normal plan, and he'll try to bring his rook into the middle after moving his queen. White has this space advantage, but if you want to learn this opening from the black point of view, here it comes. We said this already. Brings his rook in, and now he'll probably bring his bishop back and try to break in the middle at some point. But I mean, I say all this, I still like White's position. White has more space, and White is now ready to use his pawns. There you go. I'm learning a lot about this opening by watching Ricard's play. He only needs a draw. He looks very focused at the moment. Jan Christoph is going to have to start playing some aggressive moves soon. Will he push his pawn now? No, he's playing a very quiet move there, a bit mysterious. Black now getting his queen out of the way, and now black's ready to push that pawn in the middle of the board, and that could be a good equalising move. I mean, the evaluation bar, it is saying that white's better here, though.
Yeah, but the evaluation bar says that, but in the hands of Ricard, it seems to be this is a great opening. And, obviously, Ricard is happy to repeat moves, but Jan Christoph Duda says absolutely not. Now is the time to strike. So there he is, seizing space. And I have to say, to most people, black's position looks awfully cramped.
I would hate to be in this position, and I think this is one of the better positions that white has got against Ricard's Philidor, because white has these pawns that can break. He doesn't need to use them yet. You can build them up. At some point, one of those two pawns that are next to each other can move forwards and attack a black knight, but don't rush it. If black is very cramped here in chess, if you want to get to the next level, think what your opponent's going to do. And the problem that black has in this position, black does not have many constructive ideas here. So white can be very patient. You can see black is just going backwards and forwards, basically saying to Duda, what are you going to do? And Duda just needs to build up. So this is a very interesting idea he's playing. He's bringing his queen around, but look at the evaluation bar.
Oh, that does mean that there's a tactical opportunity, but again. Okay, it's jumped again. And now Richard takes an active step, kicking the knight, and Duda retreats it to the f3 square. And I'm really curious as to how Ricard is going to approach this position. What's his breakthrough? And instead he decides to attack the e4 pawn. Okay.
Well, I think bishop to c4 would have been a great move there, but this also looks very dangerous, and this, I think there's a great chance we're going to get an Armageddon here. I mean, what I'm amazed about is how calm Duda is. He must win this game. He's keeping his heart rate good. We have an exchange now, and positionally speaking,
he's going to win a pawn, isn't he? Okay,
yeah.
At least. Okay, well, first of all, he decides to move the bishop, and there's a big threat on the board of the knight actually taking the pawn, and also, if that's covered, to move to the g5 square. The target is that black pawn on f7. Those days are numbers, basically.
This is horrible for black. There's too many weaknesses. Black's bishops they're on the starting squares. The black bishops have gone back to where they came from. White's pieces are sneaking out. White has this pawn advanced on the right and the left. Everything, there's too many problems with black's position here. If he saves this, it'll be a miracle. It must be going to an Armageddon game.
Yeah, and he does drop back a queen, but well, Duda is like a dog with a bone. He has spotted what he wants, and he wants the f7 pawn.
And look at those pawns, relentless. White is just going forwards and forwards. Black is very cramped, and also there's what we call an outpost in this position. if you get an outpost in the center of the battlefield, it's a great victory, like a battle, if you can hold the ground. And white has one square that his knight will be able to jump into. Can you spot that square at home? The white knight on the left-hand side at some point can jump right into the middle, and that is horrible for black. But you don't need to rush that plan even.
No, you don't need to rush at all. And there we see Richard just make a very defensive move, just simply step up with the rook and reinforce the protection of the f7 pawn. But Duda, he is just building, he is preparing this g4, g5 push, and I did wonder whether Richard would just get fed up and try to make an active break, and he goes and says, "Okay, let's take my rook." But Duda says, "No, let me attack your queen instead."
Yeah, and this is the square I was talking about, the outpost. That knight jump attacks the black queen. The queen kind of has to move, and the black rook is in no man's land as well. You can capture that rook now if you want to. Duda being a deadly assassin here, and he has just taken the rook. So now white has a nice material advantage. Richard has got to get those bishops working somehow. His only chance is on the dart squares here. If Richard can get his queen and his bishop on the same line towards white's king, that will create some chances. I can't see any other way that things could be generated here.
Yeah, and there we see Richard quickly adopting your plan. He wants to set up a battery with his queen and bishop looking at the h2 square. I agree with you there, Simon. I mean, his black's position would be okay if his light square bishop was great, but his light square bishop is completely just frozen in.
Yeah,
and whoa.
I'm not so sure about this now. Richard only has 10 seconds, but move your queen. Just give up the pawn. Get your queen into the middle. You've got 7 seconds.
Okay.
Oh, I mean, this is also an okay move. On the next move, the black queen can come into the middle, and does he do that? No, he didn't have a chance. I think he missed an opportunity there to go active because of his time situation. He had to get that queen into the middle. It's still a bit messy though. Black's dart squares, the bishop is not a bad piece. If that queen can go 2 squares up at the right moment, he might be able to get a big attack against Duda. Duda getting nervous now. You can see his facial action there. And here it comes. Can the queen come in?
Yeah, she absolutely has to come in.
And I think this could be very bad news for white. That queen is threatening to come in with a perpetual check. Duda down to 20 seconds. The queen comes into the position. That queen is looking deadly. Can it keep checking the white king here? The bishop takes the pawn. It's all about that black queen. Can you keep the checks up here? Duda needs to get that queen out of dodge. Duda getting nervous as well, though.
And now he's under 10 seconds on the clock. Okay, so Duda trying to initiate a queen trade. But what's happening here? And, oh, did he spot this one? The bishop is coming in and attacking the rook.
They're both so short a time here. 5 seconds against 4, 3, 2, 1. And Richard is going in with the queen. The queen is attacking the king. He's got a counter-attack going, but he has no time on his clock. They're both down just to deadly seconds in this
2,
final
1.
here. Oh, just it's too exciting, this. The white king running around in the middle, and black attacking everything with his bishops. 1 second left.
He's lost
the time. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Richard Rapport is the champion of the Armageddon Championship Series 2023, the European and African leg. Congratulations to Richard. It looked like he was completely busted in that last game, but he kept the faith and he kept up attacking. That's what he did. He did everything right. Duda's going to be kicking himself, but wow, what a result there.
I mean, there you see the final result. Richard Rapport, winner with 2 points against Jan-Christoph Duda. And you're right there. I mean, Richard objectively was completely lost in that game. And it just felt like we were going to see on Armageddon. But what can I say? Richard Rapport, at the right time, he mobilized his pieces, he made it messy. And that's exactly what confused Jan-Christoph Duda. Well played to Richard.
Yeah, 100%. And here is the champion doing the champion's walk. and maybe he's going to grab a cocktail from our beautiful bar there, and he deserves this moment in the limelight there. A very worthy champion. I don't think he likes the spotlight too much. That's what I like about Ricard. He's a very modest chap, and such a great player there. And things were looking so bad in that game, but he kept trying. Never give up in chess, and he got that queen in. That was the killer idea. The black queen sneaking into white's position was the key moment, really. So,
we saw the winner do his walk, and we're hoping to get an interview here in the studio with our champion. And in the end, that was such an exciting second game. And here, Duda is playing some perfect chess. He has all the space. He's enjoying a peace harmony with his own forces, but Ricard mixing it up. And here's a moment where it just looks like Duda is in cruise control. All his pieces are attacking, and we see the nerves from Ricard when he's playing with just 27 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, it's looking very bad, but Ricard did the right thing. When you've got a bad position, when it's a bit desperate, you might as well just complicate the position. Make it as messy as you can. Just try to, really confuse your opponent, because you're going to lose anyway. You might as well lose in style, right? You might as well lose by creating just an absolute jumble of pieces in the middle of the board.
Yeah.
And it all changed around about here. The black queen, you can see, comes in. The black queen and bishop, they're just so strong there together, working on that diagonal. And as soon as this queen came in, the tide has changed.
Yeah, the tide has completely changed. But just look at the focus on Ricard's face. And he just bear in mind as well that he only had 7 seconds on his clock when he was making these moves. And here is where the situation got completely wild, and the white king has been forced to take a walk out into the open. And Duda now playing with just seconds left on the clock, and it's at this point he doesn't make it, and Ricard takes the point.
That's right, and we have an interview now with the loser of that match, Duda, so we'll go to Sonia and take that interview.
I'm here with Jan. 2 matches today, really tough ones, but congrats, you're still in the grand final in September. How do you feel?
Yeah, it's been a very tough day indeed. A lot of emotions, and I'm happy I've managed to qualify to the grand final, and that's basically all I can say right now.
Can you tell us something about the matches? First, maybe against MVL, and then Rapport.
Against MVL, I think we were both playing, like chickens a little bit. We played very reasonably, but everyone was afraid, to overpush, I think, and the games were relatively solid, and it was about who keeps composure better, and I'm very happy I managed to win this match, because it was I think the most important match, of course, for me for today, and it was anything but easy, and I felt a bit ashamed to play Petrov actually in Blitz, but I didn't quite know what to play. Otherwise, I wanted to be kind of solid with black, so. And with this white game, I got slightly, at least in practical terms, slightly better end game, and I managed to squeeze it eventually, but of course it was drawish, but I think very unpleasant to play for him.
Any key moments, like really important ones?
It's difficult to say. It was very important to hold with black this first one, because at some point I was a pawn ahead and then somehow lost 2 pawns in process. So I think I was solid enough even without this pawn, because I had very stable position, like good control over the center, and so maybe that was. The second one was, of course, most important, but the first one was, first step to success.
Okay, the tournament is over for now, but how did you like it?
Yeah, it's very entertaining. It's very entertaining format, of course, and I'm very curious about more heart rate for today. And it's it's a pity that I have played like some really good games. I mean for blitz standards, and some terrible, extremely terrible games, especially like the first games against Rapport. I just planted G7 and basically was GG. I mean, at this point, like he was, having all the natural moves in the position, and of course with bishop pair, it was like I don't know how, he felt very miserable at least. Objectively it was bad, but also extremely miserable to play in blitz. Of course, in the second one I got him completely on the ropes, but I think unnecessarily took on d4 this exchange, and after that, for some reason, at first I forgot that he could recapture with e-pawn, which is of course much better because then he has like some counterplay against my king. And after that, it got out of control, and eventually I lost this game. But overall, it's very entertaining.
Okay, we will see you in September. What is next for you now?
I will play in Krakow tomorrow. It's a European Partner Championship, and after that I'm flying to Dubai for this Tech Mahindra Global Chess League, and and I think okay, let's stick to that. Yeah.
Okay, then best of luck in the tournaments, and we are going back to the studio with Simon and Jovanka.
Thank you, Sonia, and it's our pleasure to have with us here in the studio the Europe and African champion of Armageddon, Richard Rapport. So to us, you're always Richard.
Richard is totally fine, actually. Yeah, I prefer that. Yeah, it's made a huge confusion. I think that some people started to ask how do I pronounce my name. Yeah, it's very very complicated and very.
Because I've always called you Richard, and then there's Richie, and then there's Rickard, and there's right, okay. But what do you prefer?
I prefer Richard actually, or Richie. Okay, friends call me Richie, because the thing is, in Hungarian, Richie is actually very it's being nicknamed, right? And so is in English, so Richie is like the universal, correct one. And
okay, we go Richie in future.
Yeah, but I have so little ties left with Hungary that, Richard is perfectly fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Anyway, back to the chess. So we cleared that one up, and that was an exciting match. I mean, do you want to just first of all talk us through the games? So the first game looked pretty good, pretty okay. Or?
Yeah, actually, I decided, to go for the record heart rate-wise, and I achieved that, I see. So I'm mission accomplished for today.
You broke all records today.
Yeah, I was very happy. Yeah. The first game was actually, I think, kind of smooth. I mean, I don't know, it's a blitz game, probably lots of mistakes or something, but yeah, we played this Benoni, and usually I play it with tempo down, right? So, okay, the tempo up certainly helped, especially because he went for this f6, f3 or Zemish kind of setup where, one tempo I think is just crucial because he's not developed, so he has some immediate issues, and trading knights on f5, and also I think he missed bishop g7, that I'm taking the bishop pair, just extremely bad position, and not only is very bad, in blitz his king is basically checkmated, so I felt like that was I couldn't have gotten much better, and I kind of converted that one, and then the second game happened.
So the second game happened. I like that. Just happened.
Yeah.
So what actually happened? Because your position couldn't have got much worse, could it?
Yeah, it was kind of the reversed scenario of the first one, right? I played Fyodor again, this time for superstitious reasons, I guess. I took ED. Looking back, I don't know why, but it looked like a smart decision during the game. And then, he played. We got a similar structure. I think he's got a better version, though, compared to yesterday's game, because, bishop on h2 is, kind of unpleasant, and he couldn't, achieve that setup yesterday. So anyway, I played this Fyodor again, the same structure, and I got slowly under some pressure. Okay, usually the position is very cramped anyway. And then, I went for this knight e5 idea, which I was, thinking it's going to be a release, and then take bishop, trade in bishop c4, and suddenly I am checkmated. I have horrible structure. Everything is bad. Then I spent quite a bit of time to
figure out how to defend an f7 and then the pawns. And then I decided, okay, when I looked at the clock, and I think I was down like a minute, and I looked at the position, and I didn't know where to look, honestly. I decided, okay, I will just sack the exchange since it's a blitz game, and, okay, at least it will be over quickly. And then somehow, I got some chances there, which was totally unexpected for me. I mean, because, like I said, objectively, I'm very close to losing, I believe, and also have no time, so...
Yeah, because going back to that critical moment, you only had 7 seconds on the clock. You'd given up the exchange, but you've got some small compensation on the dark squares. And we just saw you on the camera just looking incredibly focused. Like you kind of went up a different level. Yeah,
I figured if by some miracle I don't lose this game, right, the misery is over. So, so it's a good investment to focus.
Is that how you look at chess? Is it misery, or is it a pleasurable misery, or
it's mostly misery? I mean, I love looking at chess, but when it comes to playing, with very little time and increment, the pleasure leaves the room. Yeah, very early. So of course I try to focus there, and I guess 100,000 blunders happened just within a few seconds. I had no idea if the position changed too much. But at some point I just played this bishop b5 move, and I was like, oh my god, it might be winning. I don't know. Then he resigned. I was like, okay, probably it's winning.
He resigned, or did he?
Yeah, I felt like he resigned. Yeah, because he had no time. But I mean, I didn't see anyway what is the move there. So it was like totally out of the blue. I have no idea.
Can you capture that feeling and explain it when he resigned? You realised you've won the whole competition? I mean, that must have felt good.
Yeah, honestly, it was such a stress, trying not to lose on time and not to hang anything. And, I was like queen d5s were half time made, so like a lot of, potential issues to deal with. So I was just really not focusing on that, really. When it was over, I was like, okay, game over. And then I'm like, okay, and then the competition is over. But then I'm looking at my heart rate, and I'm like, okay, now it's a medical emergency, basically, so I have to deal with that one first. Yeah.
Yeah, we might. I mean, as you're now in the final in September, do you think we need to get the paramedics ready?
No, I already suggested that. Yeah, after the first my first match with Jordan. Yeah, yes. Yeah, it already looked like a smart idea. But
and earlier on, we asked all the players, including yourself, to predict who would win the event, and guess how many voted for you, Richard?
Yeah, I think I can guess that. Yeah, I mean the same amount of people. I hope who would have thought that. I don't blame anyone. Yeah, let's put it this way. So,
who did you vote for?
I voted for Maxim.
MVL.
Yeah, it looked like a very, very easy thing to write down. Yeah, I was between JKD and MVL.
Yeah, I mean, Donchenko is just too many.
Yeah, Donchenko was too long. Yeah,
far too long.
Okay, I would have been the easiest one to write down, right? But that was completely insane. I figured. So then I had to move to the 3-letter words, and then 2 guys came up. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I actually was very close with my picks. Yeah, I mean they were both.
Yeah. They were very good.
Yeah. So you've had many rest days in Berlin, and so what have you done here? What has helped you prepare for the actual games?
Yeah, lots of walking. Went to museum, went to some church, there was some outside concert. I don't know, one night. It was very nice. I really like Berlin, actually. I mean, I always like Berlin because it has a very lively, atmosphere, at least for me. But it was really nice. I was very happy to be with my wife here, who helped me a lot, because between the rest days and when it comes to playing, I still have minor emotional swings, let's put it this way. So as I think all just players do, probably my heart rate tells that obviously that I have them, but I guess others do. So she was an enormous support, and of course I'm very thankful to having been here with her. So yeah, that's pretty much.
Yeah. What kind of concert? I was going to think. What kind of music do you like? Was it a concert that you were?
It was just some random outside stuff. So it was actually kind of classical, but I like all kinds of music.
And earlier on, you mentioned that you played the Philidor for superstitious reasons. Are you a superstitious player? I mean, do you have certain rituals on game day?
No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, I obviously have some, but I don't feel like they are necessarily, for superstitious reasons. It's more like I like to joke around with this, because the whole concept is kind of, it's kind of funny, right? I mean, chess actually is a game of logic and reason, basically. Then blitz chess, I mean, you have no reason, you have no logic, but you have bit of depending on your opponent's contributions, right? Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, so again you have no control over it whatsoever. And then some people say, okay, if I have the same food every day, or if I I don't know, wear the same, I don't know, clothes, whatever, then suddenly I will have some control, right? It's just
But here there's no control because you're always wearing the same clothes.
Exactly.
And playing the same opening as well. So,
Exactly, yeah.
Let's have a look now at the grand final, because obviously yourself and Duda go through to the grand final. We can check out your illustrious opponents there, and there's some big names in the competition, of course, and you've probably played against most of these players, I'm assuming, before. What do you think of the lineup there?
Yeah, actually, I've never played with the ladies, I believe. Now I'm trying to recall if I played Humpi. I know I never played Bisara, yeah.
And how's your score against the other guys like Wesley?
Probably horrible. I don't know. I don't think it really matters. I mean, it's 3+2 blitz, yeah. So you can have the worst score ever, and you have one good day, and it will change it. So I don't really look at scores in general.
Yeah, well, it's nice to come back, I'm sure, in September for that one. And talking about chess as well, do you have any heroes in chess, especially maybe heroes who are alive now or in the past at all? Anyone you look up to?
That's one of my favorite players was Fischer from the past when I was growing up, for obvious reasons. I mean, he was just, I really believe he was just one of a kind. And out of recent players, I also like a lot. I like a lot still, but he doesn't play much Kramnik in general, which is kind of weird. I mean, again, lots of players I find brilliant, but it's very hard to to take someone, because someone might play a certain style, certain opening, or something extremely impressively or inspiringly even, and then you want to copy that, and you want to improve on it or whatever. But then again, to find a complex player, probably that person should be 3,000 rated or something if he would be able to play the same level every aspect of the game. So yeah, talking about players who are over 3,000, I mean, the only thing that comes to mind are computers. So do you work a lot with the engines to kind of... Yeah, the computers are good, right? Yeah, they're godlike.
They are pretty good. I mean, when you were the second, quite famously, for Ding Liren in the recent World Championships, which you won. So you must have done a lot of work with computers, I guess, for that? Or?
Really? I don't know.
Are you allowed to say anything about that?
Not really, no.
Oh, okay. I won't put you in a tricky situation there. Let's move past.
But instead we'll ask you, how will you celebrate?
I don't actually know. I mean, I guess I will stay here in the club. At least, probably I'm going to have to, right? No, the atmosphere is really...
You're trapped now. Yeah. We've locked the doors.
No, the atmosphere is really nice here, so I actually invite everyone who is in Berlin for, visiting the World Chess Club. It's very nice. So probably I will try some of their famous, or we will see how famous they are, cocktails, right? Because I haven't
tried them.
No, I haven't had a single one yet. Yeah, I am very professional, so...
Yes.
As you can imagine.
Do you have a preference for sweet or...
Yes, it depends. It depends. Yeah, it's very girl. I like sweet things in general. When it comes to cocktails, right?
Yeah,
which is very girlish. So yeah, depends on the company, I guess. If I have to,
we can recommend Alaska.
Yeah, and everyone watching, they have at the club here in Berlin by Unter den Linden. They have an amazing cocktail range, and all these cocktails are named after world champions, and they are really good cocktails. So you'll have to try them out a little bit if you come down. But it's good to hear you're going to try them out. Are you going to play any more blitz chess? Or have you had enough now?
I had enough for a very long time. Yeah. Until September I had enough, I think. Yeah.
Okay, so not even one game against the commentators?
No, I have to disappoint you. I ran away. I forfeit. Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, congratulations for winning the event, and we are looking forward to seeing you back in September.
Thanks.
And, enjoy the night.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Well done. And time to mention our partners. As a technology and digital privacy company, Kaspersky supports the secure advancement of chess in the digital space and its expansion into online tournaments. A perfect combination of human excellence and strong technology. And
Simon, what a week it's been. I mean, it felt like yesterday we started the show.
Yeah.
And all 8 players are here, and then suddenly it's the final, and we're now looking for the grand final in September.
It goes quick, doesn't it? Yeah, it goes so quick. I mean, the excitement here. I mean, we've commentated on lots of events before, but this one, it's just bang, 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 bang. So it's it just goes on and on, which is brilliant. And talking about the chess players, this is one of the strongest lineups we've had, and a very deserved winner with Ricard in the end. He won, played the best chess, no doubt about it. I mean, what do you think made him the winner? Was it his weird openings? Was it his good attitude? Combination of different things? So.
I think it was his unusual openings and also his innate ability to put pieces on good squares and just use them perfectly. We saw it time and time again. He had something a bit unorthodox. And then while everyone was burning time on the clock, he just carried on improving his pieces, and then he was so efficient at the counterattack.
And the opening, this opening he used, it shows that if you're trying to learn chess at home, or if you're interested in chess, I mean, obviously there's many parts of the game that you have to learn. There's the opening, there's the middle game, there's the ending, and I think they say 95% of all material out there is on the opening. It's an important part of the game, and you have to really know what you're doing there. I mean, a lot of people neglect the middle game and the ending as well, but opening-wise, the Philidor, I'm going to have to start learning that now. I want to have lovely flowing hair like that. I want to play chess like that. Yeah, I've got to learn the Philidor there.
I want to rock up with sunglasses. And also, what I liked about this whole thing was that he had a formula for success there, with his knights. He just kind of like traded on the pawns in the middle and then carried on, got motoring. And anyhow, one tournament that Ricard will look forward to is the grand finale that's happening in September. And take a look at this lineup. We have Wesley So, who won the America series. He was very impressive. Dominating.
Yeah, he's a brilliant blitz player. I mean, there's so many great players there. Let's just talk about each of the players, shall we? So we've got Wesley So, who's phenomenal, really, really strong. Sam Shankland wasn't known as a great blitz player, but recently his game has really improved at the quicker time limits. I don't know how you get better at the quicker time limits. Maybe practice your puzzles, because it's all about thinking quickly, calculating quickly, realizing the right moves. And the other players, Jovanka, I mean, Nordibek's one hell of a player as well. Yeah. So yeah.
And then we have the young teenagers who were resplendent in the Asia and Oceania series. And there you saw Gukash, just 17, although he was 16 at the time. He was completely dominant. And what I liked about his style was, again, so much resilience. And of course, Nordibek was the only person who's actually managed to come back in the winners' final. And then, of course, we have the women, Bibisara Asaobaeva. She's actually been heralded by Vladimir Kramnik himself as one of the best women players in the world. And we saw it there at Hampi Canaru.
That's right, yeah. I mean, Bibisara has this attitude, which is great. You could just see it in a way she plays. She plays really aggressively, really dynamically, and I think this is a sign of how you get to the next level in chess. You've got to have the right attitude. You've got to attack. You've got to go for the kill. You've got to have that energy. Play exciting. Don't go passive. Do you reckon chess reflects like life? Do you reckon, like in life, you have to go out and chase things and, well, not be aggressive, because that'd be a bit weird if you went around shouting at people, but, rather than be like timid, you have to be confident in life. Do you think so? You
definitely have to be confident. You don't have to be shouty confident. You can be quietly confident, but you certainly can't overthink things and second guess yourself. That's a super important quality in the chess world. And one thing that I will say, though, I don't necessarily think that your chess style reflects your personality.
So I'm not sure about that. This is where we disagree. We're allowed to disagree occasionally.
They're built like thugs, and they play like really positional, really softly chess.
Okay, who's built like a thug? You're not going to say.
I'm not going to say.
Okay, but I think that the way you play chess is like reflects your personality. So if you play like rather timid and you're like, oh no, I'm a little bit scared to put my piece there, you're probably like, I don't know, I'm going to really offend people who are accountants now or something. But you're a bit timid in real life, but you don't think that's the case?
No.
No?
No, I've played so many people who are like very timid looking, just to kind of coin your
like
phrase.
Myself, of course.
And you know, you play them and they're beasts at the boards. They come at you and you're just like, whoa, didn't expect that. So I mean, definitely, I mean, maybe it reflects like who you want to be.
Yeah.
Could be that, you know.
Could be.
But I actually have one of the things I love about chess is that there's room for everyone. I mean, if you do have a cautious style, I mean, there are amazing players out there who do have that ability, and that's one of the things that we see, especially in modern day chess, that it's all about like protecting your pieces, reinforcing control. Very clever chess, but then if you want to kind of come at someone, go ahead. Do that. I mean, enjoy yourself.
You mentioned that, you know, there's different styles that you can have. I mean, another great thing about chess, which I can't think of any other sport game where this happens, it sort of transcends age, so you can be any age. I've seen competitions where a 6-year-old has played a 100-year-old, you know, in a competition. It's like, what on earth? And it transcends like your race, your colour, everything, politics. When you sit at the board, nothing matters except for what you do at the board. And for myself, it's like my kind of meditation. I just drift off into those squares on the board, and it's very sort of it's very nice feeling. So it's a special game where you can kind of escape things like that, and it's a real equalizer. So nothing else. I mean, like, what other sports games can you have that? A 6-year-old playing a 100-year-old, you know, no matter where you're from, your background, it's your, you know, how much money you got, doesn't matter. It's a beautiful game. It
is a beautiful game, and actually both sides start off with the same pieces as well. No one starts off with an advantage, like you say. It is a beautiful game. It's a clever game, and it keeps us all entertained. And what I love about this format is hold on to your seats, push the boundaries of chess. I mean, with 3 minutes plus 2 seconds, we see players at their roar. You know, the most powerful moments. They're nervous, they're emotional, and they have to recover from all this and play a second game. So, and if the match is tied, Armageddon.
So what do you think? I'm putting you on the spot now. Okay, if you could take one lesson that you've learned from chess, I'll give you a bit of time to think about this. So one lesson that chess has taught you in life, can you think of one lesson that it's really benefited? You've learnt this from your career of being a great chess player, and you've taken it into your life and it's helped your life. Go on.
Planning,
okay.
And planning. I think chess really helps people with planning, with the ability to think about the future and to just visualize all the possible outcomes. So you have to plan in chess. You have to have an idea, and you have to execute your idea. And sometimes your plans go wrong, as they do in chess, and you have to adapt. And I think one of the real strengths in life is adaptability, because, you know, you might make a mistake, and you're like, oh, I didn't expect that to happen. You've got to adapt. So so there's many skills you can learn by these things. But when it's quick and fast, like we've seen here in Armageddon, it's just instincts. It feels crazy. Like, you know, chess is brutal, chess is beautiful, chess is absolutely everything. And what I like about this one is it's very real. And what you see the players going through on a very fast time control is actually how most of us feel when we're playing chess. We are feeling those emotions. We are second guessing ourselves. We're having to depend on our own instincts, our own wits to keep the battle alive. And Simon, I'm going to turn the question back on you.
Sure.
What's your biggest lesson in chess?
My biggest lesson in chess is play fast, die young. No, no, that's definitely not a lesson. I think it's that adaptability, and it's learning how to deal with things under pressure. It's learning sometimes you have to do things that maybe you don't even want to do in chess, but it's the right thing to do on the board. But you're a bit scared to do it, but you have to do it. You have to embrace the chaos. And sometimes in life you have to brace the chaos of life and work your way through it in the most logical way that you can. And we're coming near the end of the show now, but as we are coming near the end, how are you going to celebrate tonight, Yovi? Are we going to get down and have a little cocktail.
We are certainly going to have some Lasker, some Steinitz, and some Capablancas. And we are going to get ready.
Should we see if we can go through the list?
Yeah, we're going to get ready for the grand finale in September. It's starting September the 14th, and it will go on until September the 20th. We've seen the lineup. It is mouth-watering. We've got the players all ready, and now it's just for us to get ready. September. Mark your calendars.
Definitely. Make sure you're ready for that. This is what all these events have been building up to. It's been a fascinating and fantastic journey to the grand final so far. Legends of the game playing then. We've had some legends of the game play being knocked out on this journey. And yeah, well, I can't wait to the grand final. I have to say, I can't wait to get a cocktail down me as well now, or two, or three, you know.
And finally, we'd like to thank everyone at home for watching the show, being part of this fun and action. And we'll see if you join us in September. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be fast. It's going to be furious. It'll be us too.
Yeah, that's it. Whether that's good or bad, we'll be back. So we will see you then in September. And I hope you enjoyed the show. It's been very exciting from our point of view. And I'm sure you found it exciting as well. Bye.
It's bye from us.